Hello and welcome to our daily news bulletin. I'm Mahar Rais and you're watching AUC TV. The Coptic Orthodox Church in Egypt has delivered 5 demands to President Mohamed Morsi in order to resolve the sectarian crisis that interrupted in the country. These clashes caused as a result of the weekend events that took the life of 1 and injured 80 others. According to Egypt Independent, Father Makari Habib said that what is happening now is a result of 30 years of sectarian problems under the regime of former President Hosni Mubarak. Habib then stated the 5 demands they identified to the President: to apply the law to everyone and ensure safety and security in the entire country, activate fully principle of citizenship, amend religious discourse, and teach Coptic history in schools. Habib then added that the absence of the rule of law is the reason behind the current crisis and called for the law to be enforced and the arrest of those who were responsible. Qatar gave Egypt a loan of $3 billion in order to help rescue Egypt from the current economic crisis. This has been agreed upon at the Arab League summit last month. In addition, the Qatar Prime Minister Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Thani stressed in a press conference held in Doha that Qatar is discussing to supply Egypt with natural gas.
أيضا في مساعدة الجانب المصري في موضوع الغاز، وهذا الموضوع هام خاصة في فصل الصيف. كما تعلمون قد يكون هناك في نقص في الغاز في مصر، ونحن نبحث في كيفية تغطية هذا العجز.
Hisham Qandil, the Egyptian Prime Minister, stated during the conference that Egypt will continue to invest with Qatar in different investment projects. In addition, Qandil mentioned that these investments will help in boosting the Egyptian economy.
نريد أن ندفع بالاستثمارات القطرية لمستوى أكثر من ذلك، فتفعيل القائم وزيادة الاستثمارات في العديد من المجالات كما ذكرنا في مجالات الصناعة أو في مجالات السياحة أو في مجالات الطاقة أو مجالات البترول.
Moving to Syria, discussions between the United Nations and Syrian President Bashar al-Assad's government have reached a deadlock. The discussions were founded on a possible investigation into the alleged use of chemical weapons in Syria. The UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has yielded it in a statement to pressure the investigation across the country.
I can report that the United Nations investigation mission is now in a position to deploy in Syria in less than 24 hours. All technical and logistical arrangements are in place. This is yet another indication of my strong commitment to investigate all possible uses of chemical weapons in Syria.
Syria and the United Nations have been exchanging letters for weeks, but the two sides are far from agreement on how the investigation should run. Syria has asked the United Nations only to investigate the rebel chemical attack near Aleppo that took place last month. The opposition has blamed President Bashar al-Assad's forces for that strike and also wanted the UN team to look into other alleged chemical attacks by the government. There have been 3 suspected chemical weapons attacks, one near Aleppo and another one near Damascus. Both were in March. The third was in Homs, which took place in December. The rebels and Assad's government blamed each other for all of them. So far, the Syrians are refusing to let inspectors go anywhere but Aleppo, while the United Nations is insisting that the team goes to both Aleppo and Homs. France and Britain wrote to UN Secretary General last month saying the mission should look into all 3 cases. On an international scale, the 2 presidential candidates vying to replace late Hugo Chavez were out in the streets of Venezuela rallying their supporters for Sunday's election. Acting President Nicolas Maduro campaigned in the capital of Trujillo state, where he held a massive street rally.
En el mes de mayo vamos a dar el primer tramo del 20%. En el mes de septiembre, desde el 1 de septiembre, un 10% adicional.
Maduro rode a truck as supporters crowded the streets cheering. He held the model of a bird with Chavez's poster hanging from it. He imitated a chirping bird which is a reference to previous comments he made claiming Shafe's spirit appeared to him in the form of a little bird that flew around his head. The opposition has mocked Morodo for the comments, and he is now using it as part of his campaigning by beginning speeches with imitation of a chirping bird. Meanwhile, opposition presidential candidate Enrique Capriles campaigned in the capital of Merida State.
Estamos participando en apoyo al legado que dejó nuestro presidente de la República. Aquí tienen un pueblo que tiene deseo de luchar y triunfar.
Some of the biggest issues in the election are food shortages, power outages, and crime, but Maduro has remained ahead of Caprile in the polls. Shafez had named Maduro his preferred successor before heading to Cuba to undergo cancer surgery. Moving to the US, First Lady Michelle Obama made a deeply personal entrance into the gun debate. On Wednesday, she compared herself to the honors student from her hometown who was shot to death a week after performing as a majorette in the presidential opening parade.
And as I visited with the Pendleton family at Haidia's funeral, I couldn't get over how familiar they felt to me. Because what I realized was Haidia's family was just like my family. Haidia Pendleton was me, and I was her. But I got to grow up.
Ms. Obama told the Conference on Youth Violence that the new gun regulations her husband proposed in response to Connecticut's Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting deserve a voting in Congress. Ms. Obama highlighted the case of 15-year-old Haidia Pendleton, shot in the back while hanging out with friends at a park, about a mile from the Obama's South Side home. She said the only difference between herself and the young people killed on the Chicago streets is that she had a few more advantages involved: adults, good schools, a supportive community, and a safe neighborhood.
Are we truly meeting our obligations to our children? It's a question we should also be asking in Chicago and in every corner of this country. And it was the question weighing on my heart when I met with Haidia Pendleton's classmates on the day of her funeral.
The Senate was planning an initial vote to begin debating gun legislation, with some Republicans attempting to block considerations of the measure. On campus, AUC is hosting several sport competitions for the 40th National Universities Tournament. The tournament began on Tuesday and will continue until May 22nd. 7 semi-final tennis matches are taking place today, and the final matches to begin tomorrow. Both single and double games are being held between the German University in Cairo, AUC, Helwan University, and Alexandria University. All winners of today's matches are playing tomorrow in the final round. A semi-final game between Rami Kamal from German University versus Abdurrahman Halabi from Helwan University was played today. Rami Kamal won 4-6 and was qualified for the final round. This is the fourth participation for Rami Kamal from the German University in the National Universities Tournament. He won the gold medal in the last 3 competitions.
قد ما بنبقى سننا قريب من بعض فبتبقى منافسة عالية فبتبقى إحساس جميل إن أنت تلعب مع ناس في سنك بس يعني إحساس غير العمومي اللي في الجمهورية.
Abdurrahman Halabi is from Helwan University. He reached the semi-final round in the 2 tournaments he joined up till now.
المرتين اللي فاتوا بطولة الجامعات المرتين اللي فاتوا أنا وصلت لدور ال8 وخرجت منه بس ما كنتش فرحان قوي يعني عشان كان نفسي أحقق أحسن من كده زي البطولة دي يعني وصلت سيمي فاينل الحمد لله.
International tennis referee Nabih Nakhla agreed on the high quality of the competition.
المباريات أكثر من رائعة وهو لو تشوفي يعني مصنف رقم 1 على البطولة اللي بيلعب ورانا رامي وجمعة حلبي من جامعة حلوان الجامعة الألمانية والجامعة الأمريكية هم يعني واخدين نصيب الأسد في النهائيات.
The national tournament includes 8 sports: handball, basketball, tennis, volleyball, football, 5-a-side, water polo, and swimming. It is organized by the Egyptian University Sports Federation, where 44 public and private universities and higher education institutions from nationwide are participating. More than 300 students from AUC are taking part in the event. And now, with Mayada and the weather forecast.
The temperature in Egypt over the weekend will be different according to your location. Some will enjoy the spring weather and others will feel the summer breeze, while other cities are still experiencing winter weather. Humidity is at 68%, while visibility is clear throughout Egypt. Here are the temperatures for Friday, Saturday for Egypt's main cities. On Friday, Cairo will have a high temperature of 26 and a low of 10. Alexandria, a high of 20 degrees and a low of 17. Luxor, a high of 32 and low of 17. Sharm el-Sheikh, a high of 30 and a low of 17. Finally, on Saturday, Cairo will have a high of 27 degrees Celsius and a low of 11. Alexandria, a high of 20 and a low of 15. Luxor, a high of 33 and a low of 16. Sharm el-Sheikh, a high of 31 and a low of 19. Thank you, and back to Maha.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.